Once again, welcome back to the World Junior Curling Championships, coming to you live from Flims in Switzerland. We are in the Waldhaus Arena. It's the third time we see the World Juniors in Flims. It was also held here in 2003, 2010. And here you see teams lined up. We're going to see the game between Sweden and Austria. This is the third draw for the men's. And we are right now introducing and honoring Team China. And we are also going to listen in to their national anthem pretty soon. But here you see the standings after draw 2. Italy, Norway, Russia and Scotland on top. Switzerland on 1-1, which means we're going to find both of the teams in our featured game in the bottom half of the standings, but Sweden also on 1-1. They lost to Italy, but picked up a win in a close game against Canada. Austria, they lost first to Scotland, reigning World Junior champions, and also suffered a loss to Italy last night. But now we're going to listen into the national anthem of Sweden. I am Sarah Karlsson, and next to me once again is the oh so lovely Sander Rölvåg.
Hello.
Hello.
Now, am I wrong, or are we listening to the Chinese national anthem?
Yes, what did I say?
Swedish?
I'm not biased. I should know the Swedish national anthem, though.
Yeah, you'd think so.
That, of course, was the Chinese national anthem.
Yeah, March of the Volunteers. So, lineup for Austria. Lead is Lukas Kirchmar. Second, Martin Reichel. Third, Matthias Genner. And skip is Sebastian Winderer. With alternate player, Philip Nutker. And team coach, Christian Roth.
Lineup for Sweden. Lead is Victor Martinsson. Second, Johannes Batz. Third is Simon Granbom, and this team is skipped by Fredrik Nyman. Austria won the draw to the button. They will have hammer in the first end and play the redstone. Sweden will start the game and they will be playing yellow.
Lineup change på Strich.
Gentlemen, games will begin in 1 minute. Now, practice sides, ladies and gentlemen.
So, games will begin in 1 minute. That means some warm-up slides for the teams. There are 5 sheets in the Waldhaus Arena, so that means 10 teams are out here. We also have United States playing China, Canada playing Italy, Russia playing Norway, and Scotland playing Switzerland.
Okay, it's ready to begin. The ice is yours. With that,
tough start for the Austrian boys so far. It's their first time at the World Juniors. They've been off to a tough start, playing two really good teams. Sweden had a great game yesterday. This is their lead, Victor Martinsson. Had a very close. They were actually had a big loss to Italy in their first game, but regrouped. Said that they really felt pressure to play better, so they went on and had a really good game against Canada and managed to win that. Maybe feeling that they're a bit more experienced, even though this team hasn't been at a World Juniors together before. But they're going to start with a center guard. And there has been a bit of a lineup change in the Austrian team. Alternate Philipp Nottiger is playing instead of Lukas Kirschmeier.
Comes a little bit deep.
Yeah, where would you want to place that stone ideally?
Really, maybe just biting the top of the forefoot, meaning the red circle in the house. Just allows the Sweden to come down here, not really blocking off the draw, and just allowing Sweden to be shot stone here. What you want to do is keep your stone high in the house, so if Sweden freezes onto it, you still have a lot of room to work with. You don't want Sweden to lock in the center of the house here.
And this one is tight, and it's also the side that we know curls more.
Yeah.
So the sweepers won't be able to keep this around the guard.
It doesn't seem like they're picking up on the ice already. You had practice 9 minutes to throw draws on each side to see. There is a clear difference. You saw his first center guard didn't curl enough, and then he goes over to the curling side of the sheet, and he maybe overcompensates a little soft, and over curls. A hit to lie 2 now for Austria. Oh, that's my jam. It's not a great start for the alternate player.
No, they're electing to leave the red stone in the house, showing some confidence early in the game, and Johannes Pats are going to draw around the center guard. Johannes Pats did play the World Juniors in Sochi together with Patrick Marbergs, made the playoffs and ended up 4th. Fredrik Nyman was alternate that year.
So is Marbergs too old now, or?
Yes. This team played Rasmus Vrano in the final. Rasmus played the World Juniors for Sweden in 2012.
Yep, in Östersund.
Exactly.
Got silver, only losing out to Brendan Botcher in the final. Beating me in the semi-final.
Sensing bitterness?
Not at
on
all,
the
Sarah.
commentator's
Not
bench?
at all. So, Martin Reichel, second for our team Austria. Looking for the hit on the forefoot here.
This is looking wide, but they are sweeping, so maybe plan B.
Yeah, that's a good call by Winderer. Just saw that stone's just not going to curl enough, so instead of just hoping for it to curl, make a decision, sweep it, get it by, and get the other one.
And because that backstone is just hanging on to the house, Sweden's now choosing to remove the red. They don't really want to leave too many red around when they don't have hammer.
Well, do you know these boys at all, Sarah, being Swedish and all?
Being Swedish and all, I know them a little bit, but I don't know them that well.
Curling-wise, I mean, are they aggressive? It seems like a lot of Swedish teams are quite aggressive.
Yeah, I think they like to play with confidence and keep some stones in play, and we've even seen a bit of proof of that in the first end. They play the center guard, choose to come around, leave opponent stones in play, and I like to see them keep doing that because that will give us an interesting game.
I guess it's kind of the culture in Sweden. Was P.L. Lindholm an aggressive player? a bit too young to remember the games he was playing.
I don't think he was more aggressive than average.
No. But you know, Team Adine, Nicholas Adine, they like to keep stones in play from time to time, and also Oscar Ericsson's team. So there's been a few Swedish teams.
And a bit unlucky for Austria, just barely misses that double and rolls out. Sweden can just keep replacing the stone. They still haven't found that perfect draw around the center guard. Would like to get one in behind there now with Simon Granbom. Third for Sweden. Also hanging really wide.
Yeah, can't really afford to be too positive on this side. It's very sensitive, this straight path, but a little heavy too here. And that's not a great result, really.
No real chance to put some pressure on Austria early if they could have gotten one buried behind the center guard.
So double is on, but I don't think they're going to play it because they would just roll out. So Matthias Genner here, probably just playing the hit and flop in front of the other yellow.
Or
no, double, but as I said, rolls out with that.
And now the house is wide open. There's just that little biter in the back 12 foot. So Sweden's going to go around once again. They've had a couple of attempts at this now. It's time to make it, because if they don't make it, then Austria are going to have a shot to sit two. I think they could maybe start drawing from the other side because they know it curls more.
Yeah. Just keeping to the side they know the best, I guess, but again, just slightly heavy here. Just trying to drag it deep to get that extra little finish. Does get behind the guard nicely. Looks kind of difficult for Austria to come down and bump this yellow one out without jamming on their back head, so they're just going to draw onto it. Maybe just T-line here, too, from Genner.
This one also needing to curl. It looks a bit hasty.
Yeah, I don't think we're on the yellow here. Let's go. It goes straight by. And certainly you just need to keep an eye on the ice here. Play a lot of draws down this path, so it's probably quicking up. Probably a little keener than in practice. And what you can do is the stopwatches the teams have. Just take a few split times of your opponent when they're playing. Not necessarily the back line hog or T-line hog split. Just between the hog lines, even get an indication of how quick the ice is. So important for the sweepers to just keep up to date with the ice, especially when the skip comes down to play. Frederick here needs some information from his sweepers when he's about to throw this one. He's just been standing up in the other end, and he hasn't thrown a draw since practice. So
certainly short is the right way to miss this. Just waiting for this to curl as they have been.
Jumping up and down here. Calling off the sweepers, but sweepers want it to go.
Well, I think he got enough hidden so that he didn't leave a double, but I'm not 100% sure.
Might be there, but it does look quite difficult. I think you got to be very close to the guard.
Yeah, especially on the outturn side here. It's been really, really straight. So hit and roll out. If they can make sure to keep their shooter in play, they're at least going to force Sweden to make a play on it back. I don't think they're going to play another draw and leave that many reds in the rings, so at least that would open it up for Austria to score one with their last. Austrian skip Sebastian Wunderer. Looks like he's going to go really close to the guard. If they get it past, they might even have the double. Oh, but he's going to wreck. Yellow one will spill out of the rings, but Sweden still sitting 2. They have one more yellow to go.
I guess there's 2 options here. Either just guard the yellows and you're sure that Austria is never gonna take more than 1 here, but I think they're gonna draw in here to the top, the 4. I'm trying to make that shot a bit more difficult, knowing that they have to do a whole lot to set up a treble here for 2.
Oh, and they did not even get that one to bite the 12-foot, so now they have left a double and a potential score of 2 for Austria. It's just that they haven't played any draws down that side, so it's probably just a bit slower. It also curls a bit more.
Yeah, when it curls more, obviously takes a bit of the weight off. So I'll have to play a pretty good shot here to score 2 though. Can't hit the back yellow on the left-hand side, as you see it. Because he'll just jam onto his back red, so needs to make this across the face of the back one.
Wouldn't really expect them to throw too much weight, because if they want to score 2, they also need to stick their shooter. But a big opportunity for Austria. They were in some trouble. Final stone of the first end. Wunderer has a double for 2. Oh, and he will just touch the back one, not spill it far enough, and a stolen for the Swedes in the first end. So, after the first end, in this game between Austria and Sweden, it's Sweden with a 1-point lead. Ja, kom undan med 1 poäng alltså. Då är det Sverige som börjar igen. I cannot believe I did that again. I'm never going to hear the end of this, am I?
Right, let's get past it.
Yep,
and Sweden starts off the second end after stealing 1 and the first. So if we thought Sweden were favourites before this game, don't think it's going to change now after being 1 up on Austria. Had a good chance though. Could have made a double there to score 2.
Yeah, just a small miss on Fredrik's final shot.
You see, Sweden's they're not going to stop though. I'm putting up the centre guard. They want some stones in play here. Don't want to. Going to push on a little bit, and I guess they want to try and force Austria to take a 1 here.
Yeah, I think they want to keep the play down the centre line. They know if they draw in the house, Austria's going to put up a corner guard, and they just don't want that play out to the sides.
Yeah. Austria might even hit. They lost the first 2 games. They might want to keep it tight here. We've seen a few teams done that already, so I think Sweden just wants to make sure they got some stones in play here. They can try and outplay the Austrians. They might feel like the better team.
They did play them once this season and managed to beat them then.
I'd say Austria shouldn't underestimate them though. As you mentioned earlier, they played 2 very good teams starting off against Scotland, reigning world champion, and then Italy. So.
And I think they had a really good game against the Scots. But that first draw, once again, a little deep. And Sweden's now going to try and get shot stone. Not sure it's all the way there, but it is in front of the tee line, so it does create a bit of pressure.
Länge! Yep! Sicher aus! Jetzt weiter! Daher noch! Weiter!
So we'll see another draw here on the left-hand side. Just looking for a corner freeze here. I want to keep the angle. Doesn't quite get there.
Oh, with some nice weight.
Yeah, it's not a bad shot.
Marginal här. Bara fart! Ingen linje! Fart! Kör då!
Wantha is on the tee line. Don't really want to be deep. And I don't think that one's going to help them too much.
Yeah, no, you don't really want stones on the back of the tee if you don't have the last stone. You just need to control the front, make sure you have stones you can use later in the end.
And Austria do not want Sweden controlling the front. They're going to take off the center guard.
Yep. Oh.
And that
Gets everything moving.
yeah, I think it was just peeling the centre guard, but Winder saw that it was all tight, let go of the sweepers, and ended up as a run back. A few things happen here.
So now a red center guard, yellow is shot stone behind it, and Johannes Pat's now going to hit the open red one.
Oh. Försiktigt. Var med. Var med. Var med. Var med. Rent. Japp. Japp.
Yeah, just want to lie to here and probably try and force Austria to take their 1.
Hitting this back, we've seen a couple of teams get a lot of curl on this hand.
Weiter, weiter, weiter. Fest.
He will get to nose. No roll. But still a stone that the Swedes are not too keen to leave around. Sweden still sitting 2. Austria still looking for the roll all the way in behind the center stones.
Yep. Oh. Yep. Yep. Oh. Yep. Oh.
Looks like they will get a roll this time. A really, really nice shot. Peeks out a little on the right-hand side.
If you have to peek out on any side, spare that side. Because it's a straight spot. But, you know, Redstone's in behind the tee line here, so a chance for Sweden to lock one on it.
It's exactly what they're gonna do. Simon Granbom with his second shot.
You know, at least they're pressuring Sweden to make a more difficult shot here. Might get a miss. Looking a little bit heavy here. Definitely going to tap the red one.
Oh, and that was really close to the yellow. But as you said, taps it back, and if Austria could ever follow this, they could maybe tap it at an angle and keep sitting 2 or just come down to it right now.
It's not a bad result for Sweden. Do you think it's hard to tap that shot stone out without rolling out yourself? Don't mind the run back, actually.
Yeah.
If you make it perfect,
Yeah.
you might stick and get a double. So that's what they're going to do.
Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't quite make it.
No. And Swedes need to figure out if they're lying 1 or 2, and I think it's 1.
I wouldn't mind just guarding again here.
I think that's exactly what they're going to do, and now it's a yellow guard, so it's not as beneficial for Austria to run it back. Don't really want it to overcurl, so they're going to try and leave it short instead.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much perfect.
And Bunderer now wanting to draw the button with his first. Tricky shot, but if he could get a perfect one in there.
Could also do the same thing they tried to do in the first end, and just take off the top one and keep the shooter around. Sit 2 and and pretty much hand the ball over to Sweden and say, well, you can hit the open one if you want, but then we'll just draw the forfeit for one. Or if you want to come around the center guard, if you leave a double, we score 3. I'm not sure if drawing the button here is that beneficial. Certainly can't afford to be deep with this one. And then he's just not going to have a shot to score.
T-line. Wie lang? Oh. Yep, yep, yep. Wie lang? Yep, yep. Oh, oh, yeah.
Looks like he's got good line now. It just needs to stop. And he's going to be really deep.
Yeah, that's exactly what it couldn't be. Sweden has a very good chance to just choke off everything now.
Talking about leaving a potential triple. Don't really want to do that, so make sure you know where to put this.
Yeah, I think they're just going to guard it.
Actually guarding the draw.
Yeah, just choking off that draw path. You saw Wanderer just play. As I mentioned, if he was heavy with that draw, he's just not going to have a shot to score. Expecting Sweden to make this guard. And I don't think Austria can see enough of the shots on this left-hand side. Keeping in mind he's so straight. Well, this one's heavy.
Oh, gonna try and get it. Frederick's yelling to get it as far down as possible, not to leave a double.
I think they're better off leaving it there than sweeping it another half foot.
Yeah, definitely. Still quite the steep angle to get both, but it's a possibility.
You hit this first one so thin, you get a lot of spin on your shooter. It's very easy to, well, if you don't hit enough of the shot stone, you might just spin up and out of the house. And do you know who's lying third shot?
I'm not 100% sure.
If they are lying third shot at the back, this is a double for 2.
For the second time in a row.
Again, not an easy double here. It should be close to at least removing both the yellows, but the difficult part here is to really stick your own red note. Seems to have a quite nice and clean release, Wanderer. Oh, this one's curling.
Really curling. Oh, and he'll get it too thin.
It was hard to get that one too thin.
It was hard to get it too thin, but it's another steal for Sweden. You see it again here. It's not much that hits the yellow, but well, enough to remove the one.
Yeah, not being able to pull off the big shots yet, Sebastian. A double attempt on both ends for 2. Not quite there. And yeah, Sweden picked up another steal, 2-0. Now there is a few other games out there in the Baldhouse Arena today.
There is. Do you want to tell us the score?
I can tell you.
Please.
Next to our sheet, we have the United States playing China after a blank end. USA steals one in the second to lead the game 1-0. There was a blank end between Canada and Italy in the first end as well. Then Italy took 3 in the second, leading the game 3-0. Norway scores 1 against Russia in the first end. The second was blanked, so 1-0 for the Norwegians. And we just saw Kyle Smith forced to play a draw for 1 in the second end after Switzerland took 2 in the first. So the Swiss is leading the reigning world champions 2-1 after 2 ends.
And Sweden once again, they put up the center guard. They're now leading 2-0.
Being very aggressive. Don't mind it. I enjoy watching it.
Yep.
Well, they've had a few mistakes from this guy though.
Yeah, he's been deep with his first couple of draws, leaving Sweden the opportunity to follow down. This one looks a lot better though.
Yeah, that's a good draw. Top of the 4.
And really good line as well. It's absolutely in behind cover.
So Sweden's just going to follow this shot down, play a freeze.
Ja, kom igen då, hela vägen ner. Okej, gå då. Ja, 8 är bra. 8, bra linje. Han är på svingen nu. Ja, ja! Gå, 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 gå. Ja, hela vägen ner. Ja.
And he makes a really nice one right back. Victor Martinsson for Sweden.
Backline.
So now Wunder is calling a tick shot, split the guards, create 2 corner guards. It's quite a nice call.
Yep. Oh. Oh. Yep. Yep. Oh.
Nicely played. Would maybe would have liked to hit that yellow one a little bit thicker, make sure that both stones stayed as corner guards.
Länge 8.
And now gonna create some separation in the forefoot. Tap this a little bit. Need to make sure that you don't create enough separation for Sweden to remove both reds.
9.
Oh. Yep.
Yeah, just trying to catch this one slightly high side. That's a pretty good shot.
It's really good. No double on, and that red one is locked on the yellow.
Oh, yep. Right line. Hey! Wait! Come on! Oh, 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 oh. Oh, oh, oh. Off.
Det här borde kunna gå också. Borde kanske kunna ta den. Spela den då. Hämpa. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Just board weight,
Yep.
straight side, but the sweeper's really working to get it by.
Länge 8.
So it's right there, so Austria are going to come down to it, not necessarily bump it all the way out, and just try and get some curl and sit on the yellow.
Länge. Nur Länge. Yep. Yep. Länge. Weiter. Weiter, Terzi. Up with the start.
And oh, he makes a beauty, even over curls in that straight spot.
Jag tror den här är bättre, jag är tveksam.
Wait a little tight. Where's the weight?
So by hitting the left side of the top red, the yellow one is going to direct right back onto the red one, just played by Austria.
Oof, some big weight here.
Yep.
Should
Yep.
make things move.
Yep. I'm här, Victor.
There we go. Well,
Bra.
not all of them though.
No sticks, the one red. And a very open house right now, so Austria can just draw out to the yellows. Can set up a deuce here if they can just keep one all the time that Sweden is unable to remove. Important thing is not to leave a double.
Oh. Yep. Yep. Oh. Yep. Yep. Oh. Sorry, Matti.
A bit of a missed line call. Could have swept that to get it past the top yellow and just sit corner frozen on the back one.
Yeah, it was just a tiny wee bit heavy, so Wonder just wanted that one to curl as much as he could, but yeah, just
Maybe not as much as this could.
no.
Just a little less.
touch too much. We might get a double here.
Some more really big
Yeah, he can-
weight, and this seems to be too thin.
he can throw it hard, eh?
He definitely can. But it's all about hitting the stones in the right place.
Yes.
So we have learned.
Well, sometimes just hitting the stone in the right place isn't enough, though.
That's also true.
And now Swedish people are known to throwing hard.
We're just that strong.
Yeah.
Yep.
Vikings.
Yep.
So
Länge.
Austria are going to draw
Oh.
to the wing
Oh,
again,
nur Länge.
making sure they don't leave Sweden another attempt at that double.
Oh, viel zum Steuer. Oh, so her. Oh, lass mich.
That's very good. Can't play the same double for sure. They're looking at the slash double instead, meaning catching the high side of the stone. The first red on the left-hand side as we see it. And just slash it down onto the back red, as we say.
Ja, men inte mycket. Ja. Ta sådär då. Ja, ta lite du.
He might rip one of his own yellows, but that's not really a concern.
Går inte på dubbel där.
it's a pretty thin hit, and he'll get it just a bit too
Nächste auf den Vordermann aufgelegt.
thick. Only get the one.
Ja, wir müssen nicht besser sein wie die zwei, gell? Wir können schon auf den Vordermann. Und wenn er, siehst, wenn er ein bisschen länger ist, zieht man hinten auf.
I think they're
Ja.
pretty much going to play
Ja, aber da ist, ja, passt, wenn man es da
same kind of shot, or
man da ist.
yep.
That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I was a bit worried they were looking at a hit there, but no, they're just going to play some sort of draw.
Yeah, those yellow stones are really helping Austria right now, making it possible for them to get 2 stones in play and not leaving a double, so there's no real point in hitting them.
Ja. Wir legen uns jetzt auf den Vordermann auf.
4-5. Platz. Yep.
Calling the weight 4-5.
Whoa.
Should be top of the house.
Whoa. Muss kein,
I
Phil.
think they've got the weight under control, but it's all about the line now.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Wants to sit corner frozen on the stop yellow, and that's an excellent shot.
It's
Now,
really, really good.
just wonder if there might be a chance to blast this one though, and I might steer off their own yellow and down onto the red. You lose a lot of weight though, coming off the yellow, but when they throw them that hard,
Geht schon.
I'm not sure if it's there. I think they're going to have a crack at it and see if it does angle on onto the second red.
Oh, comes close.
Yeah, they're just trying a direct double there for a really thin hit. Couldn't quite make it.
And chance now for Austria to finally get that deuce on the board that they've been looking for. Now a draw to the full 8 foot for a score of 2. Here it comes, last stone of the third end. Wanderer. Nothing from the sweepers. Looks okay from up here, but needs to sit down now. And it's enough.
2, right.
We have a tied game after 3 ends. Both teams on 2 each. And for the first time now, we're going to see Sweden with the last stone.
Spiel mal gerade auf, oder? Wir sind immer ein das Schürzen.
Ja, Schärzen brauchen wir
Bisher-
sie nicht auszufahren.
Dann legen wir gerade, passt. Kurz vors Haus.
fourth end, just getting started. This time it's
Linie ist gut.
Austria
Nur Länge.
to get us underway.
Oh.
Sweden opened every end with a center guard. See what the Austrians are planning on. I believe they're doing the same. And it just sits down in front of the rings. Sweden gonna ignore drawing around it and put up the corner. They want the play out to the sides, give themselves some room, and they are gonna go for
Bra linje.
a 2 right, a back in the fourth.
Ja, bra. Okej, jag har nitt. Ja, dra ner nitt. Bra.
Hoch.
5, 6.
Spielplatz.
4, 5.
Warten, wenn es geht, warten. Und Spielplatz.
7.
Jetzt.
So
Sheffield.
Austria comes around instead, and some really good weight control now by Nottegger. Is getting some good stone placement.
Yeah, and Sweden's just going to come around the corner guard. We've seen this tactic by a few teams. They're just going to ignore the centre line completely and just make sure they get a stone in behind their corner. Which I don't mind seeing, because a lot of times you'll see teams put up the corner guard and never use it. So might as well come around here, and they're going to trust their upweight ability, I think, to clear off the centre line later in the end.
Yeah, that is a nice come around. It looks like they got it all the way in behind the guard.
Guard.
And you know Austria's going to have to do something about the yellows here.
Removing the corner guard.
Oh. Yep.
They know that Sweden sooner or later are gonna make. They're gonna need to make a move at the red center guard and stone. Won't roll all the way off and leave a corner on the other side.
Jag tar den här också bara. Ta den då. Normal. Ja, dämpad.
Bringing the weight down a little bit. Want to keep their shooter rolled out to the right hand side. Open up the center and give themselves a new corner guard at the same time.
Ja! 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 Hårt! Hela vägen. Hållning! Hårt nu!
What do they have? Not the best result from Johannes Pats there. It's the red guard way too thick, but still does not make the double and won't get a roll.
Mittlers.
So Austria can now hit the open one. Sit 2. Put some pressure on the Swedes.
Yep. Oh. Oh. Oh.
And they are absolutely level. There's no double on. Sweden now need to find a new way to set up this house.
Det är sån här vinkel typ. Lägga i till snarare. Gå ner så annars. Ni kan ju svara om ni vill. Här.
I think they elected to play the run back here.
Rakt på bara.
In big way this time.
He was tight with his first, and this one is
Whoa!
Yeah, it's tight with this one
really
too.
over curling. Will he get the second option? No.
Yeah.
Almost gonna put it onto the red on the wing.
Yeah, that was nowhere close really.
Yeah.
And Austria lies too. They're just going to put the guard back on, so Sweden's going to have to struggle here to clear things up. They might just have to try and blank then here. Play a few doubles.
De är rädda för alla stenar bakspel.
Oh! 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 Konix! Konix!
Over curls. Quite often you think you're just playing a guard, but on ice that curls, putting up the perfect guard isn't always an easy shot.
Oh, and so much happens after you let go of the stone too. With the sweeping, it's important for the skip to let the sweepers know of the line early, so if it does curl too much, they can try and hold it as early as possible. Couldn't quite get there.
And this looks a bit heavy.
Nej, kommer bra. Det är
Need
ingenting.
to curl.
Ingenting.
Need to get all the way down on top of the red.
Nej, oh.
Yeah, it doesn't look too bad.
Nope.
Bra.
Hold tap there. Actually, you could have sweated that one just to hold the angle a wee bit more. Oister's going to guard. Maybe Austria's turn to steal.
Maybe they are sitting shot at the moment.
Yep! Yep!
And this is a guard.
Oh!
Both of Sweden's points were stolen. Austria started with a hammer.
Stå här!
So Sweden's been successful at flipping the hammer around,
Stå här nu!
getting the advantage back.
Sketcha vidare!
But right now it's Austria applying some pressure. And I'd imagine Newman
Rulla upp lite.
would just rip the guards here.
Hej, träff. Träffa där.
I wonder if there might be a treble. He might catch the wing stone as well.
Yeah, he might. Either way, if he catches the wing stone, even if that red stone sticks there, it will create more of an angle and might leave them a double later. So would like to get some movement there as well. Granbom once again with a lot of weight.
And there we go.
Oh, and sticks it a bit too much, maybe even spins it in. So Austria now line 2.
Yeah, that's a bit unlucky.
Wieder trotzdem da an Healing.
Didn't quite expect to see that.
No, not really.
No, I thought he was going to be close to catching it somehow, but he's unlucky to actually spin it into the forfeit. That was a good throw. I hit it pretty much perfectly. It's just kind of hard to read what's going to happen. But yeah, Austria line 2 now, and I think we'll see another centre guard. Quite the high slide on Wonder when he comes out. It's just
Yep.
I just try to, I don't know,
Pass
be
auf,
stable,
das ist viel
and he
klar.
just kind of lowers after he's come out.
Lang. Ball weg.
I see some players do that.
16er.
Do you think it makes a difference?
Yes, there's some players that come out and they just make a big push with their right shoulder, and then the right hip might as well just start a bit too early. So it's just all about tightening both your your hips and shoulders, making sure you come out squared. And once you do that, you can get deeper in your slide. I've tried doing it. I don't like it. I'd rather come out all crooked.
As long as you like what you're doing, I'm happy. He will overcurl that guard a little bit. Once again, we've seen that happen a couple of times now. The top yellow is half visible to Fredrik Nyman.
Yeah, well, when you don't sweep the stones, you tend to grab a bit more. So you might want to hand those guards to the sweepers as well. So they'll act the same way as the draws.
Haben wir halt gesehen, dass du nicht sauber durchgespielt hast.
Dann müsste ich da noch wieder ein bisschen weiter vorne angreifen.
Got to mind where he rolls there too. Might very easily set up a double if he doesn't roll deep enough.
Nyman really wanting them to sweep this, and he's very tight by.
Made a big leap there with this last line call. He's almost hit the roof.
Yeah, but it's not a lot of room between the yellow and the red.
So schnell.
I didn't think they were going to try and hit that on the nose. I thought they were going to try and roll off to the side.
Might be a double here, but it might also catch the back red.
Er geht sicher nicht so, dass liegen bleibt.
Oh yeah.
Ganz leicht, ganz leicht außen, oder?
If the curl just a fraction less, he probably would have rolled a bit further out and have left an easier double. It was a very cool line call by Zweiskip.
Ja, schnell drauf. Mört. Ach so, na passt schon. Ja, genau gerade.
Yep. Oh, yep. Yep.
And now the double attempt from Wunderer.
Yep.
He's going to be close to the guard as well. Oh, and he's only going to catch one.
Yeah, it's too close to the guard.
That was, I didn't even see that.
Wow.
It's really close to the other yellow. I didn't think that was possible.
Gibt's ja nicht. So viel Zeit vorbei, so viel.
And
Fredrik Nyman should have a pretty straightforward shot for two.
I think they're lying one here. They're looking at the draw, but I decided to play the hit instead.
Yep, just need to keep the shooter somewhere within the 8-foot circle.
So it seems a little strange. Maybe they just don't like the draw path on the other side. Maybe just not too comfortable with either the ice or the speed.
Aber ich glaube, dafür.
Just maybe not sure where to put the broom. Did struggle with a draw on that side, going the other way early in the game. Came up short. So I'm just going to play a quiet way take out here, but we're on the straight spot here, so you can't overthrow it.
No,
It'll never come
definitely
back.
Could also be the case. I'm not 100% sure that they are lying shots, so just to avoid any unnecessary mistakes, but this needs to curl.
I've seen a
Come
few teams
on.
catch a guard on this side. No, that's not going to hang around. It's only going to be the one. A bit of a mistake there.
Ja, fast.
Got Sweden in the lead. 3 shots to 2 after 4 ends. And we're going to have one more end before the halftime break.
Dritte. Da wo wir jetzt wahrgenommen haben, wo wir nachher mit Nürnberg aufgemacht haben.
relativ offen.
Eher offen.
Von der Teile auf jeden Fall nicht langsamer werden.
Wie viel sind wir? Also das langsam oder das schnell? Okay, passt. Sag in Zukunft einfach 1 Minute. Na, ist wurscht.
Was man da nicht verstehen kann, ich verstehe es auch nicht.
So it's a very tight game we've got. After 4 ends played, it's Sweden with a 3-2 lead over Austria. And my bet is they're going to play a center guard. What do you think?
I think you're right. Play a centre guard every time they haven't had the last stone. They're going to do that again.
And they haven't really been curling enough with this one. Instead, quite short and even over curls.
You might even see Sweden put up another centre guard. I'm not sure how aggressive they might be, but
No, but they are 1 up, and Austria's going to draw the wing, so
okay.
would almost expect them to hit.
Yeah.
What's the reason for drawing the wing here, Sander?
There's a few things. First of all, keeps the end very open, and you might be able to blank it if they feel like they want to carry their last stone advantage into the 6th end. But it certainly keeps the stone. Certainly keeps the play away from the centre of the house, and they want to make sure that everything's open so they can score with their last shot. But we're not going to see Sweden play the hit though. They're going to play a draw here. Just a top 12, I think it was indicated here. Even a tight guard is probably good. Just feel like that first guard's not really helping him that much, so they want to put another stone in.
Yeah, the first guard is really high, and on ice that curls, a high guard pretty much isn't the guard at all. You can always come round it.
Weight's not that bad, but doesn't curl enough, so might as well have stopped short, and it does. Can't hit it now, the Austrians. So a few stones on the centre line.
Yeah, and Austria are going to draw around. Really important to be in front of the tee line now, otherwise they're going to be right in Sweden's trap, and they're going to play a good freeze to close everything off. So it doesn't look long. Sweepers are all over it. Want to keep it in front of the tee line.
6. Yep, weiter. So. Good.
Stefel!
Now that's a nice draw.
Halvträff. 5 plussare.
Fredrik just letting Pats decide what way he wants to throw this. Pat's a bit unfortunate with his shots in the previous end. Would love to get back with this double.
Yup. Oh, me again.
So can't hit the inside. It's going to roll out instead.
Flip.
Någon fan tar tulling.
A little flip. Does that mean that he flicked the stone out a little bit?
Probably. Just on the out turn, I think we see a lot of players do that. More on that turn than on the in turn, and that's also the straight side on this sheet, so you really can't.
And with that rolling out, Austria feels like ripping off the centre guard here, even though they have a stone behind it. So it really looks like they are going for the blank here.
Bobby.
At least keeping things simple. Now I have a question for you. Johannes Pats, where has pink gloves?
I think he worn them out last season.
Okay.
I think he needs a new pair every season. He's got a lot of sweeping to do.
Because remember in Sochi he was wearing pink gloves. It was a nice little accessory.
Yeah, he dropped them. Maybe you were bullying him too much.
I wasn't. I like them. And from what I can remember, he told me they were wide receiver gloves. So what American football players use for catching American footballs.
Well, as long as it works. He's not really come down deep enough with his freeze. Sweden really not wanting Austria to blank this end. They could have played a run back, but they did come around, try and freeze that red. Want to force Austria to take one.
I think if you're Austria here, you just play the run back yourself. Just right on the nose.
Genau, grad.
Rip both L's, and you'll stay a guard in front of your own red. Looks like that's what they're going for. Well, this is hanging wide, and I think he might just jam his red. He has, and although it opened things up, Redstone's gone. There's only one yellow in the house. A chance for Sweden to split here and make sure they're flying to, forcing Austria to take a 1 point here.
All the way down to the T line. Just need to make sure that there's no double on, and if they can keep that situation going, they will force Austria to take one.
Langsam.
So Austria will just try and group these stones together, get a little roll towards the other, hope that Sweden won't manage to roll back, and sooner or later hope for a double.
Yep. Yep. Ganz durch. Fest. Fest weiter.
Got to make sure to stick around here.
Jetzt weiter.
This one's really curling.
They did bring their weight down a lot. Rolls out, so same draw again for Granbom.
Hela vägen ner. Byt om ni kan. Pass närmare sen.
Double Vansen sagt, pass auf, Ring, nicht?
Ja, den är inte.
Double Vansen sagt, pass auf, Ring.
Kom igen. Bra så. Bra.
Sen försöker man nu.
Langsam. Oh. Yep.
Same shot again.
Oh.
Looks a bit more under control this time.
Yep. Oh.
Just want a little roll towards the center, and that was a very little roll.
Yeah, but still starts building up though.
Yeah, every time you hit that stone, it's going to be higher in the house, and sooner or later going to leave an angle for the double.
Yeah, and Sweden can't really roll out here. Well, going to try to roll just a little bit to the outside, but again, they don't have a lot to work with. So a nose hit here, I think, will leave a double attempt for Austria.
Ich wollte jetzt auf der Seite liegen bleiben, weil der ist jetzt erst da schon Probleme gehabt. Und die Take hat.
Oh, might be a little heavy, which means they need to hit more of the red in order not to roll out.
And it's a perfect shot.
Definitely, it's not an easy double for sure. It's really flat
Ja, da
and
bleiben
really
wir
long.
Da stehen. Ah nein, dann legt er einen zweiten rein. Oder sollte man auf den gehen?
Ich glaube, weiß nicht, das ist wurscht.
Ich spiele mal Mittlers auf den. Wir wollen da einer.
Ja.
Gib mir da eins.
Von außen möchtest du dann?
Ja, weil ich habe jetzt keinen nach außen gespielt.
Mach wieder so.
Gib mir da. Mittlers Throw nach innen.
Yep! Yep!
Wanderer with his first of
Yep.
the fifth end.
Whoa, whoa! Yep! Yep! Yep!
Gonna roll closer to the yellow. Looks like he's gonna catch it thin. And once again, he's gonna roll all the way out. And
Sorry.
Sweden's just gonna place this in the rings and force Austria to the one.
Bajta 4-foten. Han är för osäker på taken för honom. En nolla. 4. Det är bra också.
So just draw top 8 foot here. Wanna place the stone so Austria can't hit the middle one and be shot. Make them play a hit and roll instead, or
Vart är den?
make it just a little bit more difficult to score the one.
Spielt man so.
Think that we'll have left nose hit.
Yeah, even though scoring one for Austria here, I think Sweden will be the happier of the two sides. So Sweden will have hammer in the sixth end with a tie score. But first, Sebastian Wunder needs to make the shot.
Yep! Yep! Whoa, whoa! Yep, yep! Yep! One.
He does.
One red, yeah.
It's one red for Austria, which means we have a score of 3 each with half the game played. Players are going to have a 5-minute break. Coaches will come down and have a talk to the teams. And we're going to get ready for the second half of the game. Just before it starts, we're going to be back with some highlights. And then the second half of the game.
Dass die sind Leute nicht zusammenkriegen, rechtzeitig da herumstehen. Sind kriegen das nie zusammen, da rechtzeitig herumstehen.
Christian, Lucky. Så. Jag kan gärna hjälpa Simon. Du provar så direkt. Gut. Ja, men det är
Man hör ju inte, men...
Kim Bauer und ist. Wahnsinn. Ja. Ich glaube, er hat so ein Beil auf sich.
Du har exakt samma fart som det var liran.
Visst aufpasst mit dem Überqueren.
Nej, men vi avskottar med då exakt samma steg. Fast på andra sidan.
Det saves egen kanon. Aber sonst sind sie ja unter Druck.
Ja, för till sista fokus på alla stenar.
Så
En del kan tycka är för enkelt.
Ja.
Komm mal
Ja. Sollte es schlimmer, die Pressbox ist so weit weg.
Ja.
Ja, nej, säkert
Ja.
så. Det samlar nog messen.
Och sen vi kan ju spela lägre farter på allting också. De är ju rädda på alla stenar.
Was ist super lenken?
Det är alla stenar vi har i spel är de rädda för också. Så det är...
Ja, spielt sich sehr ganz gut.
Samma in dabei, ja.
Rakt ner. Nej, när de kommer till rakt ner. Ja, då skulle inte...
Ist gut, wenn er die Sendung hat, jetzt ist der auf die Seite aus.
Ja.
Ja, die war jetzt extrem weit vorne, mit der hat er nichts anfangen können.
Ja.
Drüben ist die Fressbox. Da wird nicht viel drin sein.
Ja, war schade. Mir
Du musst da knusprig nehmen, wenn es ist.
sein Clearing war auf dem Spiel. Da waren unsere Schotten. Muss ich tolerant einfach zweit. Ihnen kann einen treffen oder nur den ersten wegnehmen. Das wird auf uns
Ja,
einfach
då.
Das war schade, aber sonst spielt sie sehr ganz
Du också.
Also weiter.
Wenn er kurze Gas setzt, aber trotzdem gleich dahinter, oder? Oder darfst du nur mehr ausspielen? Schon dahinter.
Ja, wenn die kurze Gas kannst du auf die Seite rausfahren. Das ist das Spiel auf die Seite.
Okay.
Das nimmt dir den Druck zum Legen. Am Schluss. Passt. Super, Martin, machen wir das eklig.
Ja, ja. Meistens halt Staubsaugen. Aus 20.
Ja, hast du noch ein Jahr?
Was tust du jetzt da lesen, Matti?
Na, aber da steht der Laptop.
Achso. Ich hab mich jetzt gerade gewundert, dass du das schaffst.
Dass du da auch wieder sitzt, Martin.
Das liest nicht einmal ein. Wo ich 1-0-1.
Was ist das in der Zeit noch?
Fick dir ins Knie. Hoppala, jetzt ist schon wieder geflucht.
Ist ja wurscht.
Geht es nachher irgendwann auf? Ich bleib da. Ja, mach mal.
Die Abgabehilfe, ist die von euch oder von
Nein, nein, das ist für die Chinesen, glaube
von den Chinesen? Also, die steht da so ziemlich.
ich. Ungünstig. Ja.
Super, ne?
Geht schon dahin. Ah, scheiße, über den falschen Besen.
So we are back with the second half of the game.
Schmutz zum Start.
And it's Austria to start.
Switch.
Sweden has hammer. This is the third draw in the men's section of the World Junior Curling Championships 2014. Sweden is playing Austria, and I believe Austria was playing with Sweden's brooms.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they had a little swap there.
Okay. No harm, no foul, I believe.
No, I don't think there were any hard feelings.
So all tied up here.
What do you have to say about the game so far?
Good question.
You're the expert.
Well, certainly Austria started with the last an advantage. Couldn't quite get there. We saw Winder had a difficult double in both the first and second, and to get two, but missed both, giving up a steal of one for Sweden. We've seen Sweden be really aggressive. They've been putting up centre guards, even when they've been in the lead. So they really like to push on to have stones in play, and I like that part. Austria, not a bad team. They've obviously lost their last stone advantage, so we'll see how they cope. But seems like Sweden's the better team so far. Even Sweden, they're making a few mistakes as well, so it's fairly open still.
Yeah, it's certainly very tight on the scoreboard. Sweden has been very aggressive. And I think we've seen a couple. Johannes Pats have had some struggles with his takeouts, which left Sweden in trouble a couple of times. These boys have been students of the Swedish Curling Academy, as are the Swedish girls.
Hela vägen! Hela vägen! Hela vägen! Kom igen! Hårt! Kom igen! Hela vägen ner nu. Kom igen, kom igen, kom igen, kom igen, kom igen! Bra.
And Victor Martinsson he's had a good game so far.
Yeah, really good game. Nice stone placement from him.
And that's exactly what you want from a lead.
Yeah, just always nice to start off the end with a few good shots. Just makes it so much easier for your teammates to follow.
Ja, 4-5. 3. Japp. Oh, nur länge.
3, 4.
Oh. Auf Platz. Oh, oh.
4.
Gar nix. Passt aus. Schemmertz. Phil.
Philip is also having a good game. Maybe a bit too short with that one.
Yeah, I'd imagine Sweden just played a double here on the top two and rolled to the side as a corner guard.
Vi har 60 kvar.
But not going to do that yet, or at all for that matter. They're going to just play a direct hit on that stone display by Austria, try and roll in under the corner guard.
Yep. Kom med. Go. Kom med. Go.
Should curl here, so need to be alert. This one really needs to hang on, and it will. So not too bad of a shot there from Putz.
No, and Austria deciding to leave both the yellows in play and come in with another one. I think we're looking at quite an interesting end.
Yeah, just totally ignoring that stone on the wing. Making a few aggressive calls here too, Austria.
Langsamer. 3. Linie, Chef. Yep. Oh.
Ho, Matti lassen.
There's a few other games on
Fallen lassen.
still.
Ja.
Only half time for most of the games so far. There's not been a big blowout so far. China took 2 in fifth, 3 each between them and United States after 5 ends. Canada, Italy also 3 each after 5.
Försöka få med det där.
Russia, Norway, they've gone into half time. Norway leads the game 3 shots to 1.
Ja,
And
det är
Switzerland,
nästan
Scotland.
touchen där.
Scotland were down 3 but
Vi skulle
took a
kunna
3 in
försöka gå rakt
fourth
här också, liksom, men nej. Ta den
to
här.
make it a 4-4 game. Not sure what happened in the fifth end. They haven't put a score on the board yet.
Öppna.
I'll get back to you on that.
And now we're going to see the double.
Det är lite på den sidan bara.
This is where Johannes overcurled his 2 end turns in the fourth end.
Ja.
Need to make sure this is played nicely to the broom.
Ja.
Looks pretty close. That's a good shot. Excellent shot. Nice double. Rolls to the side. So two corner guards been playing out for Sweden. And they have that stone in the forefoot on top of Austrian's shot stone and a stone on the wing. Looking really nice for Sweden now. And Austria needs to be careful and make a few good shots here.
Phil zum Start.
Richtung ist gut.
Weiter. Bis er steht. Länge. Freeze drauf.
Just confirming that Switzerland took 1 point in the fifth end, so they lead 5 shots to 4 over Scotland.
And Austria puts another one in the rings here. Interesting to see what Sweden can do about this
Nästan 2
situation.
stenar.
Yeah,
Det borde
maybe
kunna vara en touch också.
just all too tight to the rings.
Ja då. Släpper den papp.
They're not going to play too much weight here.
Oh,
Want
and
to just hit and roll off the red one. If they touch their own yellow and the other red, then that's fine. But basically trying to spread some yellows out, make the red one in the rings really lonely.
oh, this is wide though. You might have to catch a back one maybe.
Oh, nej.
That's not going to happen. It's just going to tick off the top, right? That's a big mistake.
Fokus nu grabbar.
And Fredrik asking for focus. Instead of a lonely red, this could just leave a lonely yellow. They do have that biter, but Austria can now get 3 stones to outcount that one.
That's a missed opportunity. Looked really good for Sweden.
Oh,
The pressure was definitely on the Austrians, but
Richtung ist gut.
with that miss and a good shot here, the momentum's certainly turned around in this end. But I'm not sure if this one's going to pull up in time though.
No, but they're going to try and angle it onto the yellow. Might not have gotten that far enough.
Vi kan göra sådär då.
das ist auch nicht schlecht.
Sitter den så. Men den här kommer sitta kvar också. Där kommer den igen ut.
Asking Simon to come down, have a look. He is the one that's going to play the shot. It's quite important that he knows all the angles and what he can and cannot do.
Ja, kanske ut här. Ja, den här kommer komma hit där va. Men annars måste jag göra typ den här. Kommer den här ut. Den kanske var den här bakom blir optimalt. Gör det.
I think maybe just play the nose hit here. Maybe touch high side.
Ja. Ja. Typ.
And
Plus. Okej.
should run that.
Ja. Jag tänkte så
the best yellow onto the shot stone, and it might just stick around. Can't hit this red one too much on the left hand side though. You're just going to spin your best yellow out.
Gonna play quite a lot of weight on this, but not roll very far, so. Well, when you miss your first one, you get a more pressured shot with your second.
Yes, and if you do make your second, it's all good. It's better than missing your second and then making your first one.
Depends on how good you made your first one. Ooh.
Yeah, it just catches this one too high, and it's going to spell his own yellow. Rolls out as well, and it's not a good result.
No.
There's a nose hit there would be better.
Austria now sitting 2. Really had some pressure now.
Det Seiten kaldt nicht so viel, gell? So.
Na, geh aus wieder. Vor den roten, so dass ein bisschen links liegt vom roten.
Okay, so in the rings, in front of the red, make sure to cover the left-hand side to make it tight down the center line.
Wow, vorne 12. Wow, daher. Wow.
Freeze!
This looks maybe a bit long. They don't want to leave an easy double.
Yep.
Or a treble. I think there might be at least a double.
So opportunity back for Fredrik Niemann.
Yeah, I don't think maybe the treble's on here. That second red should drag
Den dritten ist
a bit down really,
Da muss er schon.
rather than towards the third red.
Yeah, but double and maybe roll to sit on top, or at least in front of the back red.
Yeah.
That should, if they manage to sit shot stone, it should at least mean that they'll have a pretty straightforward shot to score 1. The way this end has been developing, I'd say they would be pretty happy with that. Careful where you leave the roll. Spins a bit too far. Austria still sitting 1, but the forefoot's now open. Shot for 1 should be pretty straightforward.
Entweder den oder den.
Sorry.
Ha? Na, den nicht. Was hältst du von dem?
Ja, das heißt, das ist weg da. War ein bisschen.
Ja, aber schau, du kannst da hit and stay, mehr geht nicht. Du bringst nicht beide aus.
Nein, nicht, aber du kannst da.
Na.
Yeah, like this call. Just throw the wing here. Light 2. Just make sure you don't set up a double, and Sweden has to take 1.
Warten, warten.
Oh, warten, warten. Oh,
Passt auf, Linie.
warten, warten. Wow. Weg,
Schaut mit.
weg, Phil zum Start, Phil zum Start. Ja. Daher. Ja. Ja. Weiter, 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 weiter.
It's a really good shot. There's absolutely nothing for Sweden to do. Score more than one.
Ja, passt. Wie viel haben wir?
All that's left is the draw to the forefoot.
Nächstes plus minus
Mit
1.
20, genau. Unsere Zeit.
But it's against two,
Na, nehmen wir noch 4.
even though it doesn't look all that complicated.
Sicher.
There is a bit of pressure on now for Fredrik Nyman.
Wie viele Minuten sind das?
Sweepers really working early. They needed to drag this all the way to the forefoot. Can't really give up a steal here. And this is really, really, really short. Oh, it's even a steal of two.
2 red.
That's a draw you expect him to make almost 10 out of 10 in practice.
29 Minuten.
Yep, that's
Braucht man überhaupt nicht treffen.
one of the most difficult draw in the world, and he's going to be really upset for not making that one. And yeah, momentum's changing.
Du hast nicht 7,5 Minuten pro.
Austria ahead now, 5 shots to 3. And Sweden needs to be chasing the game. And if Sweden felt aggressive at the start of the game, you'd expect them to take a few chances now.
Yeah, tough situation for the Swedes. I think they were definitely favourites before the game, and now it's Austria with a 5-3 lead. Big steal of two in the sixth end for them.
That's good. 6, 7.
And I don't think we're going to see any more centre
Turn
guards
lassen.
now. They are aiming
Oh,
for
warten.
top forefoot.
Daher.
Wo ist er?
Ja, Matti.
Ja, Finn.
Gut.
Finn spielt fast 100% bis jetzt. Ich glaube schon. Gut.
I imagine the Swedish boys will have a goal of reaching the playoffs,
I would think so.
while Austria maybe their goal is just to keep their spot in the World Championships.
Yeah, exactly. It's their first time at juniors. So for them to just make sure that that
Faisal.
place will be there for next year is a really great result. I think Sweden is definitely expecting to be among the top. This team
Yep.
is new at this level, but
Ohne
they
Länge.
are in the Swedish league. They beat Rasmus Vrano in the final back in Sweden, and they were silver medalists. So I think they definitely have some potential, but they need to get it together here.
Oh.
Ja, wenn er ein Zehntel langsamer spielt, dann sagt nicht so positiv.
Ska ha hackfart, bara trycker ner då. Hack. Ja. Wow. Vart är den? Ligger fart. Ja.
goes maybe a bit too far, but it's a nice shot. Opens up the center. Gets the play out to the wing.
Donner langsamt.
Langsam!
Oh.
Don't want to miss this wide. Need to make sure that yellow goes, and it does. Martin Reichel for Austria. Second player of this young team. And Sweden's now going to make their corner guard useful. Johannes Patz is going to draw behind it. Important that they get buried. You need to get a deuce back on the board.
Oh, byt. Ja. Ja, räcker.
Stößt du da runt?
Ja, kör.
Ha?
Bra. Kom igen nu, var med.
Yeah, a nice come around. Austria now going to take off the corner guard. Don't want to give Sweden a chance to hide any more stones behind there.
Yep.
But also want to roll off themselves.
Oh.
That is not what they were looking for.
I know. Looking just to pick off the guard. Over curls it, and then you might be hoping, well, at least we get the run back here. Just barely clips the yellow. Jams on the red. Chance for Sweden to come around here. Put two in behind.
Yeah, they got really unlucky. That yellow is absolutely buried as well.
Just waiting for this one to curl. Just can't bounce off the yellow here.
No,
Just
that would leave a double.
Yeah, just a bit too heavy. Not sure if the double is there, but isn't quite able to put enough pressure on Austria here.
No, and he just played that draw as well. You'd think he'd have a really good feeling for the weight down that track. Matthias Genner is third for Austria. And I don't think they're missing this one wide.
There we go. Doubles on for sure. Genner play the European Mixed Championships with the skip Sebastian Winderer back in 2012. Placed fourth, losing out to Finland in the bronze final.
So going around the corner one more time. Simon Granbom, third for Sweden. Need some good stone placement here. They definitely need to score two.
Just gonna ignore Austria's best stone here. Might have popped out on the other side a little bit here, but it's on a straighter spot, this right hand side, so it should be a little bit tough to come around.
Sind wir nicht gerade weg da?
He's just going to keep things simple here and take the guard off.
Wise choice. Even if they do give up a deuce, it'll be a tied game and they will have hammer in the 8th end, which is a very good position to be in. Absolutely no reason to complicate things for Italy.
Eller så. Trycka ner lite bara. Den här. Knacka bara 1,5 steg ner.
Just want to tap this a tiny bit to create a pocket where the yellow one will stick if Austria tries to remove it.
Kom med, ja. Oh, kom med, ja. Oh. Här klarar mycket. Helt upp.
It's a very common mistake to put a little bit too much weight on these. Just need to tap it down a stone or two.
Bra.
I think that's
Really
pretty much
good weight.
perfect.
Yeah.
Creates a nice pocket there with the red ones. You know, even if Austria removes that yellow, they'll be able to freeze again. So Austria's just going to take the wide open one.
Yeah, there's no double. It would jam for sure.
Ja. Mittlers.
Yep.
Sebastian Wanderer, skip of the Austrian team,
Yep.
an open takeout on his first.
Good, sir.
Jag skottar med den. Här så.
Wir können dann nur außen auf einen.
Ja, det är rätt. Jag tänkte man skulle lägga den där. Alltså frysen är på också. Ja. Frysen, då kan vi slå på den sen också. Så att ni går in i den liksom. Ja. Ja, fan, det är skotten här ändå så jag lägger den här.
Gonna freeze the yellow.
Där och så.
Just to make sure that it directs onto the red, hoping that maybe even both of the yellow will stick around if a Wanderer tries to blast them.
Är det 90 då? Okej, vi ska ju frysa nu bara. Nej, okej. Ja, men 80-90 då.
Skip of the Swedish team, Fredrik Nyman, his first shot of the 7th end. They are down by 2.
Jaha, ni nu. Ja! Nej!
Need to curl a bit to get the right angle on the yellow.
Vi har ingen dutt!
Going to bounce instead. I'm not sure how good that was.
Was mit der Dutzen den ausgeschissen, oder?
No, that was not the plan.
Na, wenn man nur dort treffen, so schnell.
I wonder if Austria can make a play on the shot stone here.
Schnell, Mittel.
Not sure if they're able to move the second yellow. Will probably roll underneath. But what they might want to do is hit the shot stone here and just roll to the right underneath the yellow, other yellow.
Yeah, because Fredrik Nyman actually touched the yellow a bit, I'm not sure who's shot right now. If they just hit and stick around, they might force Sweden to play a double if they want to.
It should be a really simple bubble though. So you need to roll to a spot where there isn't one. So I guess either roll a little bit to the left, actually, just side by side with the red one. That's going to make it a difficult double to stick around anyway. I think what you don't want to do is just roll to the right, just a touch.
And bounce your own off.
Whoa! Oh!
Yeah, that too.
Yep! Whoa! Yep! 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 Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Let's see what he has. Well, that's not too bad. Doubles there, but
But it might,
jam.
exactly.
Just lock onto that other red underneath and get on Bum's head. I think that was a good spot.
It was a perfect spot. It's not easy.
Is it possible to catch it thick enough, maybe? Make it spin off to the left. You know we can throw really hard. I think it might be there.
I think he's gonna need to go for it.
If you catch the red one next to the yellow as thick as you can, that one should just spin off the back red maybe. And your shooter goes off to the left, gets the other red. It's really tough though. Not completely sure if it's there. You can't hit your yellow first though.
No. But here it is, the last stone of the 7th end. Really hard shot for Fredrik Nyman, really difficult double.
Oh, there we go.
And he makes a beauty.
That's an amazing shot.
A lot of discussion looking at all of the angles, and there you have it.
It was definitely there, but how close was he not to his own yellow? That was a perfect execution, and he needed that one after that miss in the 6th end where he came up short against 2. Made a big shot, and it's all tied up now after 7. But kind of have to say that Austria has the advantage of last stone here in the 8th end.
Definitely.
If they can just score now and then force Sweden to score in the 9th, they'll have last stone in 10th. And
that was hell of a shot.
It's good to hear the teams being friendly, compliment each other on good shots. And we have 3 more ends to go in the Waldhaus Arena in Flims. If you are just joining us, you're watching the World Junior Curling Championships 2014. This is the game between Sweden and Austria. We also have United States playing China. Score is 5-4 to USA. Italy has a 5-4 lead over Canada, and also last stone in the 8th end. Norway has a 3-2 lead over Russia. They also have the last stone in the 8th end. And finally, the score between Switzerland and Scotland is 5 each. It's Switzerland with hammer in the 7th.
Nur Matti. Nur Matti.
Okay.
Sweden comes into the house.
Yep.
Nottegger played the corner guard. It's quite tight to the center line.
Bara fart! Bra linjer. Lite överkörfrisk. Ja. Ja, räcker. Bra.
Ja, der geht's.
Center guard is in a good line, but it's quite high. Austria could make a play on the stone in the house.
See the time clocks on the wall here. 21 minutes for Austria to play 3 ends. That should be enough.
Yeah, 7 minutes per end. This should be fine.
And Sweden also at 20 minutes left. Of course, if we get a few complicated ends here and a lot of stones in play, and you think too long, it could be a stress factor. But
Yeah, and that stone could also be a stress factor.
yeah, big miss there.
Weiter, Dave.
Das war mehr knapp.
So Sweden's really going to go for a steal here. Big advantage to the team that scores in this end.
Herren. Ja. Wow. Bra linje. Byt. Vänta.
And it's so much straighter on this side.
Ja, kör.
Trying to get this as far as possible now.
Kom igen. Kör, Victor.
Tuck a piece.
Mitten auf. Geht alles.
Schnell.
Time to get out of trouble. Not really creating any good situations, but need to get out of what Sweden's been making down the center line. So remove this. Would love to catch the second and even the third yellow as well. This is wide. And opens up the front. Also removes the red corner guard, and Sweden can't really guard both of this, but they're going to put up another center.
Wir können da 2-0 machen.
Herren. Haken här då. Ja, rent då. Ja, då. Måste köra, var med den. En lång är det. Ja, då. Sitta. Ja, gå över fort, Victor.
Weniger.
Spün so. Ach so.
Because the guard is quite close to the rings, it makes this shot a lot easier. Could
Schnell.
catch some yellow in the house as well.
Yep. Ja.
And he will just strip everything away.
Schön wird's.
That's an amazing shot.
Yeah, there's not much to steal. Not really a stealing situation anymore. Sweden's just going to try and keep Austria from taking two. Allow them to blank.
Even a blank isn't too bad for Sweden. They can try and force Austria to take a win in 9th. I'll hammer in 10, try to score 2 and win the game.
It's how they beat Canada last night.
Yep. I was watching that last end. Really building up along the centre line. It's kind of a strange end because Sweden was lying 2 the whole way through. And they didn't really want to guard it because everything was clogging down the centre line. But in the end, they just had to. And even though Canada made a good last shot, Fredrik Nyman made a clean pick through a hole to win the game, scored 2. They're looking to pick up another win here against Austria.
Simon Granbom, we're just going to remove the red. Like to roll in towards the center. First of all, they need to get past this yellow guard. Oh, and they will take it.
Yeah, just
Leave the
feathers
red.
off it. Goes straight by, and a good chance now for Austria to maybe take 2 here on the 8th end. Big mistake. And we'll expect Austria to just put this one on the other side of the house. Get as much separation as possible. Yeah, wants to be even behind the tee line with this one. Just make sure it's completely flat.
And we're going to see some really big separation.
Yeah, that's a good draw there. Although there's a bit of an angle, so Fredrik Nyman will be able to roll towards the other red and maybe set up a double for a second shot. So probably going to throw this really hard. I think at best he can maybe roll all the way to the red. I think double looks a bit hard. But the important thing is here, stick the shooter for shot stone anyway.
Yeah, make Austria make a play on it. Don't just let them draw the open side again. It's got a lot of weight for sure.
That's a good try. And you might just get a double here with a second one. If Winderer just makes the nose hit here, shouldn't have an angle. So Austria really would like to roll back here.
Langsam. Ja.
Sebastian Wunderer want to roll to the right hand side to keep the separation, keep Sweden from making a double.
Yeah, doesn't quite get the roll. So there is a chance for a double here.
Sorry.
Big shots coming up for Fredrik Nyman. Really don't want to give up 2 points in the 8th end. to make both reds go. Oh, and nothing from the sweepers.
Maybe the roll over though. He rolls.
Oh,
It's
and
good enough.
he's got it.
And he's
And
even
he-
rolling behind the corner guard.
And he sticks the shooter. That is a big smile on the Swedish skip.
I thought he was going to roll across the top. It will catch it and just spins up in behind the corner guard. Obviously now forcing Austria to take their one. That's a big shot.
It's a great one.
And Granbom should be happy. Skips made sure his mistake hasn't given Austria 2 points here, and actually even forced them to take the one.
So last stone of the 8th end.
A bit of a turnaround here. It's
Yeah,
gone back and
definitely.
forth a few times.
But still, as you said, Sander, the team that scores are definitely going to have some advantage. And it looks like it's going to be Austria.
This is in the house for sure.
Yeah, not by much, but it's enough for one. Austria will take one in the 8th end. And they will lead the game 6 shots to 5 with 2 ends to go.
Elsewhere in the arena, we see that Italy is struggling a little bit with their clearing, apparently, their P8, because they just gave up a steal of 2 in the 8th end, meaning Canada leads the game 6 shots to 5 now. Between the United States and China, it's a 5 shots to 4 lead for the Americans. Russia, Norway, they're in the 8th end. Norway with last stone leads the game 3 shots to 2. And last game is between Switzerland and Scotland. And Switzerland leads that game 6 shots to 5. Scottish guys with last stone in 8th end.
Nur Länge. Hab Platz. Oh. Daher. Matti. Best, Kirsten. Daher noch. Best. Weiter, 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 weiter. Bis es steht. Pass.
Center guard is up, and in previous ends we've seen Sweden put up a corner guard even when the center guard is played. Now they've elected to draw around with Victor Martinsson's first stone.
I think they might do that to keep the blank alive. Tara?
I didn't know. I didn't know that was a question. I just figured you had all the knowledge and you shared.
Yeah, it's just.
That means I agree. Yes,
Yeah, okay.
they can keep the blank alive this way.
Yeah, not putting too many stones in play, not
Länge
too
4.
many guards. Just making sure that you can blank the end. It wouldn't be a bad result for Sweden. They can try and take their 2 and 10th instead. But if they do get an easy chance to score 2 here in the 9th, I think they'll be happy to do that as well.
Länge.
Yeah, and here's a guy that's been really consistent all through the game. He had some struggles in the first couple of ends, but been very good since. The alternate for the Austrian team. Nottegger.
Yeah, listed as alternate. I'm not sure what their plan is for the rest of the championship, but they might be alternating. Squad rotation.
Won't really curl enough with that, so there's a possibility for Martinsson to actually hit and roll. This is a really, really curly spot. It's just diving in towards the guard, and remember, he's not allowed to hit it. He is allowed to move it. Undra realizes there that he can sweep.
That's just barely on the line, meaning Austria is allowed to put that stone back. 3-guard zone violation.
Violation is such a harsh word.
I know. That's why I like to say it.
Yeah, but it's so tough when that happens. That's why it's really important to make sure that you keep your weight down on your hits when you're playing lead so that you can take the guard without putting it out of play. Martin Reichel now going to put the red onto the yellow.
Yeah, plan for Austria here is obviously to force Sweden to take the one. They get some good separation here on the reds.
I think Sweden's going to start chasing the blank now. On a double. Even.
Almost a treble.
It's a good shot, but leaves that one really far out. And they're going to need to group some stones together if they want a blank.
Yeah, so we're just going to see that cat and mouse game again. Austria trying to keep their stones separated, and Sweden's just going to try and roll towards the other one, gather the stones, hope for a double.
Länge, 6. Daher. Nur Länge. 7. Dabei bleiben. Oh.
It's a nice draw by Reichel. Get some big separation. There's no double. Sweden just need to roll towards the other one, hope to get them together, hope to get a double later on in the end. Don't want to roll out, don't want to allow that draw. And it will catch it way too thin. And Austria still with the opportunity to have some really big separation in the rings.
Nur Länge. Linie ist gut. Dabei bleiben. Auf 6. Sharks. Ho. Dabei bleiben. Ho. Bisschen, ja. Was? Okay, Marti.
An absolute perfect draw by Gemmer. So Granbom's turn to try and group them together.
Kom igen! Wow! Victor! Kom igen!
He will have a better go. Rolls into the center.
Langsam!
And Austria, they're going to try and roll back.
Ja, alles! Fest, Ketcher! Alles, was geht! Fest, Ketcher, weiter!
Sweepers on this from Genner straight away. They don't want to roll towards their own. Looks like they're going to.
Ketcher, weiter!
roll out even.
That is a lot of over curl.
Sorry.
That miss can turn out to be very important.
Yep. Really wanted to put for Sweden to take a win here in 9th. Now they're going to be able to blank it unless they make some terrible mistake.
Oh. Ja. Oh. Ja, kör.
Gleich, oder?
Terrible mistake didn't come from Granbom's second stone. Sweden now line 1. And Austria can't really do much else but get rid of the yellow.
Still bleiben. Mitlass.
Ja! Ja! Oh!
He'll roll out with that.
Han är ute. Klipp då. Ja.
Flims.
Alltså den har...
Yeah, don't even want to leave this one around. Just in case Austria decides to freeze on it. So just going to hit this one.
Oh.
And there we go. Nothing in play.
Oh, Austria can draw, and we both know what's going to happen. You care to share?
Sweden's going to try and hit Austria's stone and then roll out and black the end.
An A for tactics. And why would they do that?
Just keep last stone. There's no point in taking the 1 here because they'll all be tied up and they'll have to steal 1 point in the 10th end, and I think they're just... I think they feel more confident of scoring 2 with hammer than stealing 1 without. And if you look at the stats, he'll win more often being 1 down with last stone than having to steal in an end.
Nur ganz ins Haus! Fest! Fest! Da geht's ja aus,
So
fest!
Austria wants to put this one in the house.
Weiter noch, weiter.
Otherwise, Sweden won't even have to play their shot. They will be short, so Niemann doesn't even need to aim for it here. He can just put this way through the house.
Yep, so last one of the 9th end. Nothing special. Just going to throw this one through. And Sweden keeps their last one advantage.
We're in for another exciting last end.
Ja.
Ja, den är ute. Geht dahin? Ja, sätter gerade, oder? Ja.
2.
Schön.
Där har vi det.
Nicht, dass sie nicht so aggressiv spielen.
Ja, fan, vi har mycket. Ja, så här får jag. Alla sitter helt perfekt. Ja, kör. Där var en korn, va?
So the final end of this game is just about to start.
Bisschen mehr.
It is Austria that leads by 1 point, but Sweden have a last stone advantage. If they score 2, they win. If they score only 1, we are looking at an extra end.
Pretty interested to see that Austria puts a centre guard up here. You know, I think you'd expect Sweden to put up a corner guard, so you might as well come in top 4 and you put the guard on after.
Yeah, maybe they were kind of hoping to get Sweden to play down the center line.
I'm trying to trick them.
Yes, don't trick the Swedes.
They won't be fooled. Gonna put up a corner guard anyway. Sweden.
Ta den här. Jag hakar. Jag tar den rätt. Jag byter det. Jag får ut den från i kanten. Kom igen. Kom igen. Ja, bra där. Bra dit.
And the corner guard goes up.
Länge 4.
Time to go around now.
Länge skott.
Oh, warte nu. Schön lassen nu. Nur Länge, Linie ist gut.
Länge skott. 4.
Daher. Oh. Zirchmann, Matti. Nur Matti.
Good, sir.
The nice come around by Nottiger. The guard is quite high up. Even though this is the straight turn. Victor Martinsson is going to come down with a freeze on the in-turn side. And this looks wide. Can't really wreck on the corner guard.
Bara fart! Ja! Ja! Ja, kör. Ja, kör.
Finds a good line
Bra.
Yeah, again, good end.
Bra, Victor.
by the leads.
Yeah, from this guy here. Yeah, both plays really.
Ja, det synes jeg er godt.
Länge 5.
Fire, 5. 4.
Japp, japp. Oh, nur Länge. Oh.
6,
Oh.
5, 6.
Yeah, didn't want to bounce off there. Wanted to lock his red onto the O.
Vi kan ju inte göra den där då. Tycker det är bra vi har kvar den här ett tag till. Det är bra vi har kvar den ett tag till.
Fredrik wants to keep the best red around for a while.
Why is that?
Well, if he gets a double now, chances are he's going to give a double back.
Yeah.
So he doesn't want to give Austria too many opportunities at easy doubles in the rings.
So by rolling on top here, just making sure he leaves some of his yellows around as well.
Exactly, get a little backing.
But he's not going to get the inside here. That's going to be the nose hit, and I think.
It might be a double to stick behind the guards.
Yep.
Okay.
Didn't have to play that much weight either. Could have played just hack, backline, back ring weight, come down with a draw, just slide off.
Yeah, it wasn't even important to remove any of the red, just place a yellow on there.
Yeah, could have played a draw as well.
It's easy to be wise from where we're sitting.
It is easy.
Oh.
This is way out there as well. You need to roll in.
Almost catches his own red. Yeah, it's nowhere close.
Oh, tough end for Reichel.
For the both seconds so
Yeah.
far.
Well, Pat still has one to go. They have listened to our advice. It's coming down to the red now.
Yeah, well, Frederick said he wanted to keep that shot stone around a little more. So just wants to lock things in here and make a move later in the end. Looking a bit
might
pacey.
Be a bit heavy, yeah.
Yeah.
Come around everything.
Just making sure there's no double at least. But that's not a great effort. Two missed shots from this guy here.
Yeah, not the way to put real pressure on Austria.
Matti, der Schönste war der! Backline!
Wir sind fast eins. Sonst hat unser Rohr da hinten und gerne mal draufstehen.
You want to come to the inside of the yellow here. Get a little roll behind the center guard and actually sit two buried behind there. This one was tight. Will they even have it past the guard?
No, it's on it already. Might end up as a run back somehow.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Actually overswept that a little bit. Should have curled a fraction more. Maybe he would actually make the shot he was trying to make just
But
through
the
his
other
guard.
way. Not really the accuracy you need.
I'd say a pretty poor end for the seconds here in the 10th.
That was even the third.
Was it?
Yep.
I'm sorry.
The seconds are all over and done with.
Well, that seemed a
And
little harsh.
there is a double here. Well, they are done with this end. They're going to sweep now.
All over and done with. Well, let's see if Grand Boom can make a better one here. You know what boom means in Norwegian?
Nope.
Miss.
So he's missing a spruce tree.
Yes.
Okay, that's a weird name then. But he is making that quite good, actually. It's still a red sitting shot, but now two yellows in front of it.
Yeah, pretty much has two ways to come at the red now. So he rips his back yellow. That's okay though. I wonder if Wanderer has to come down here and.
You wonder if Wanderer.
Just come down here. Looking to remove the yellow on the right hand side and just flop to the left a wee bit.
And it's a tricky shot, but it's definitely there.
It's kind of tough because you might just click on your back one here.
He was really tight with his first one down this path. This looks better. It's even a whoa. This looks really good.
Perfect. Really nice. Moves that second yellow as well.
Yep.
And his shooter is just perfectly in behind the guard.
A great shot by Genner.
Yeah, really hard to get to it too. Just right in behind. The left-hand side doesn't curl much, and if you tap it, you're just going to tap it straight onto your yellow. You might have to come on the other side, which is the left, as we're seeing it now.
Sweden's called a timeout to figure this situation, and I can tell you that Hans Niemann is on his way down the stairs. That is of course Fredrik's dad.
Yep.
Very engaged in Swedish curling.
He's quite the animated character as well.
Definitely. He will have a lot to say.
Well, we'll listen in and then you can translate.
War die dann mit Backline? Die hinten drauf liegen nicht genau auf Null, oder? Na ja, schon. Ziemlich.
Ta garden eller dutta ner den här sexan ner.
Ja, dann gern dahin machen mit Wetter, oder?
Ja, das gehört im Moment nicht. Wenn wir übertriebene Zeit haben, noch zusammen, aber ich glaube nicht, dass zu dem kommt.
Ja, wenn jetzt uns einer, dann magst du nicht viel ausrichten, das ähnlich nicht wie jetzt.
Dann legen wir
Vad
Gas
säger Vilken?
zwischen
Du
den
säger
zwei
Vilken.
Garden.
Vilken är den? Är det här den?
Oder einen dritten eine i kanten med då.
Den?
Ja,
Tycker
kann
jag
man. Müssen
Ja.
wir. Ja, vielleicht so vorne. Ja. Naja, er müsste fast, das heißt, überspringt besser sein wie der Gelbe. Und so weit legen wir nicht rein.
Ja.
Also wenn, dann darf man mit der
Ja,
Gas
bak 8 bara. Bak. Egen fart hit räcker.
Siehst,
Okay, so they're gonna tap the red one back.
Uns auf einen, was jetzt spielt.
Wenn er
Wir
offen
gehen
ist,
von
kann man
rechts.
weg, oder?
So tapping this one back a little bit. Want to sit right there, just back 4-foot
Yep.
weight really.
Oh! Japp! Japp!
And it's curling now. It's really important that they get this past the
Maxa!
guard. Can't
Whoa.
take.
Nej!
Oh,
Right,
and they
right.
will.
Nej, shit.
And even stay there.
Yeah, even spins back and not really open now for Sweden. Only 2 stones left, and Austria has a chance to guard, sitting 2 in behind cover.
Centerline beißen.
And all of a sudden, looking hard for Sweden even to score now.
Eins, zwei nur. Ho!
Oh,
Ho! Gar nichts!
Ball weg. Set.
The guard is up.
Ja,
I think Sweden is only left with a run back now.
normal. Träff där va? Lite. Normal. Träffa här, vad tror du? Is, där kanske? Ja. Kom in lite mot slutet. Ja. Sätta ner rakt går jag också. Raka går jag också. Ja. Normal på den övre. Men jag sopar bort egen sen också.
Not playing too much weight at this. Want to run it down and stick it on the top red.
Ja.
Really need to hold the line here. Need to get it onto the stones and the rings. Oh, and he gets one. Still red, sitting short.
Aye, but Austria needs to be a bit careful now because there's a few yellows in the house. After you choose to guard this, you might see Sweden just run on their guard and clip off their shots, so and then they'll be line 2. So you might want to come into the house here.
Yeah, might want to get another one in there.
How's the saying? The best guard is the second shot, or very often the second shot anyway.
Yeah, definitely. We're talking about getting rid of the back yellow, which they can see, but I don't think they'll be sitting good enough, so then Sweden can play the same run back again.
Yep.
So they are playing the guard here, though. Guarding the run back.
And you see on Fredrik Nymann's shot, it's like a really good thing that he chose to bring the weight down, because he didn't get exactly the hit that he wanted, but he still stuck around with the stone that he ran back.
You could have played a draw here too, Sebastian. Just a 4-foot draw, and
where would you draw into the 4-foot?
just back 4 on the line between the red and back yellow. Obviously, there might be a run double, but it's going to be pretty hard, because if not mistaken, Sweden can run both the yellow guards in, can't they?
They can.
And the Wonder is only able to guard one of them.
Also want to be careful not to line this up too.
Yeah, doesn't want to lock on to this one. He's not going to. He's going to guard that one, and I think Nyman is going to play this wide angle run. Just needs to clip it.
Just do this.
Just.
That's what he said.
Bara få dem på ovansidan 5 sen. Ja. Spela samma fart då. Träffa lite tjockare då. Ja, det är lite tjockare då. Alltså tänk att vi bara...
Might want to aim to maybe even stick this on the red.
Ja, jag tror den där träffen är... Ja, exakt. Ja. Yes.
Okay, so they know where to hit it. Now he just needs to do it.
Yeah, a big shot coming up here.
Yeah, but he's pulled off some great ones under pressure.
Yeah, he had that double and the 7th end for 2. That was really nice. Treble even, actually.
And then the double in the 8th end to force Austria to 1.
Yep.
And the previous run back, and this is maybe the last shot of the game.
I think so.
You nervous?
Well, I'm excited. Last shot here of the 10th end, possibly the game. Angled run back, big shot for Fredrik Nyman. If he makes it, he'll win. But with a miss, it could be Austria's first win of the championship. Not playing the big weight.
There. What has he got?
It's not enough, and it's going to be steal 1 for Austria. And the Austrian boys are going to pick up their first win. Just over curl this one. Goes straight by the red. And it's going to be a disappointed Swedish team that goes off the ice here. But the Austrian team 1 step closer to keeping their spot at the World Championship. Just coming up from the qualifier earlier this season. So that's it for this future game. Austria beats Sweden 7 shots to 5. And if you stick around, we should have a few highlights from the game and maybe even a word or two with the winning skip, Sebastian Wunderer. We can update you on the other games in the meantime. Just next to our sheet on the right here, we had the United States playing China. It was the US that won that game 6 shots to 4. Between Canada and Italy, Canada pulled out to win after a steal of 2 in the 8th, and then they scored 2 in the 10th to win 8 shots to 7. Just 2 games still out in the ice. It's Russia playing Norway. It seems like Norway is in control. They are 2 shots up on Russia, but Sergei Glukov and his Russian guys, they have the last stone, so a chance to maybe get an extra end there. And the very last game is between Switzerland and Scotland, and it's really boiling up. And Switzerland leading the game 8 shots to 6, and they're in the 10th end just now. and the reigning world champions needs to score 2 for a win. Oh, sorry, for an extra end. And by the looks of it, seems like the Swiss skip here is playing his first shot to remove the only yellow in play to secure their win. And they've just taken a technical timeout. There's something wrong with the stone. Hopefully that won't break him down too much. So we just saw Austria beat Sweden 7-5 in our future game. It was quite the exciting game. Sweden was the favourites for sure. And now we're going to take a look at some of the highlights from that game. And also we'll have a few words with Skip Wanderer of Team Austria. First end, difficult double here for Austrian skip Sebastian Wanderer. Possibly he can score 2, but just overcurls a fraction, and it's a steal 1 for Sweden. Second end, same situation really, a tough double to potentially score 2. Skip Wanderer tries again, but again just overcurls it by a fraction. Steal 1 for Sweden. Yeah, again, and they lead 2-0 after 2 ends.
Being able to pull off the big shots yet.
And the third, it was Austria's turn to get on the scoreboard. And just a draw for Austria to secure 2. Slips in behind the T-line, but Swedish skip Granbom can't sweep that one out, so it's tied up after 3. Skip ahead to the 6th end. Austria's done a good job of forcing Sweden to take their 1. Swedish skip Hans Niemann with the draw, comes up short. It's a bit of a shocker for Sweden as they give up a steal of 2. And the momentum certainly changed after that. Austria leading the game 5 shots to 3 as we head into the 7th end. Loads of reds in play. Niemann with a really difficult shot to score 2, makes it absolutely perfect, spills all the reds, leaves 2 counting, and it's tied up after 7. Skip ahead to the 10th end. It's all or nothing for Swedish skip Fredrik Niemann, trying to make the run angle, but can't make it, just curls an inch too much, and it's Austria's first win of the championship. So should have a few words with the winning skip Wanderer, but just updating you on the last 2 games. Norway gets the win over Russia, and Switzerland with a bit of a shocker against Scotland. They win, and reigning world champions will have lost their first game of the week. So we have Sebastian down with our lovely interviewer, Sara Karlsson.
Turned that game around. What were the keys to winning?
I don't really know. I really don't know. We just played played really good after the fifth end, and I guess that was it. I can't really say more.
Did you say anything special in the fifth end that made you play really good?
No, we just, I don't know, it just happened. It was a really exciting game in the first half as well, and I think both teams played really good all of the time, and yeah, we just have been a little bit more lucky in the last few ends.
This is your first appearance at the World Championship level. What are you hoping to take with you from this week?
A lot of experience and new friendships, and our big goal here is to directly qualify for next year, so we don't have to play the European Challenge anymore. That would be cool.
That's great. Well, congratulations and good luck.
Thank you.
So that was Skip Sebastian Wunder of Team Austria. Just won their first game in the challenge to keep their spot. Our next broadcast will be tonight, 7 o'clock local time. It's in the women's draw. Korea plays Canada, so stick around for that. But for now, that's it. And we're going to have a break and be back tonight. It's still very early in this championship. And see you soon.